Let me see if this is on so I can go out and have people ask questions. Yeah, preferably we would have tested it beforehand, so hopefully but um, but here's what we'll hook into. You don't have any video that's going to be or any like slide for the slide. Correct. Yeah, well, there'll be nothing up here. Is someone from REIB? And this is the kind of thing too, like for future, it's good to test beforehand. As a group. Yeah, especially if there's sound. So, get your water. And
I ain't never seen nothing like this before. All right, my first video is Did they ever tell you where to sing your music to? No.
We was performing when I got
I
here.
thought so
think
too.
we speaking.
Well, they say in one song, in addition to speaking.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do some poetry. I've been everywhere, just getting grounded and settled. I just took that leap of faith to be 100% artist.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, how you doing? Good.
What's good? What's good? What's up, man? Not much, man. Good to see you. Oh, you too. A lot of familiar faces.
but they didn't sing the song. So it has, yeah, we took over the she asked him, I know I'm on the email, and you are Nakara.
Hello, Fatima. I'm Louis.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So I wasn't really sure what the structure was. So I don't know why I assumed, because this is my phone, that you were either both spoken word or poetry artist. I wasn't expecting a song. Gotcha. So I was not prepared to even ask you for music.
that's something, as our communications department said, that we would set up ahead of time, like at least run through it. Is there any chance you could do it a cappella?
Seems like we're gonna have to, so yes.
And are you both singers then, or rappers, or? Okay.
So, if we could do it on the top, what I can do is answer the questions. Before we do a Q&A, and then we'll have you guys start with you first. If it's feasible for you to do it without music.
And the other piece is, I don't know if it was clear, we PG?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, do you have a song? Okay, then we're gonna go.
We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work.
Okay.
Really apologize for that.
That's all good.
Hakuna Matata.
If I walk back by here, just call that out so we can leave it on today. Thank you, boys.
Hello. I'm Nakara.
You got calls from me about your vendors.
Yeah, I gotta pay attention to detail. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Come in here to rap and leave.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's why I ask a bunch of clarifying questions. 'Cause what? Huh? Where? Like, especially when it's somebody who's like more of a homie who asks, because they be just, throwing you in the ring. They want you to get some bread. So it's like, okay, yeah. But what's the detail?
Testing. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hi. Happy Love Day. Y'all feeling the love? Yeah. Happy Love Day. How's everybody doing? We good? Thank you all for joining us today. Our wonderful Minneapolis Black Employee Network has put on their third event for Black History Month. This is our Black and Belonging event. The goal of today is engage the enterprise in discussion around the value of building atmospheres of belonging. We all know historically we haven't always felt like we've belonged here, but we are working to build those spaces. So today we're going to talk to two very important creative panel members. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. If you guys could just walk through and let us know your name, let us know what you do, and what's your personal your personal connection to the city that we live in. Not necessarily the enterprise city of Minneapolis, but the city that we're in. So I'll start with you.
All right, mic check, mic check. There we go. All right. My name is Nakara Forget. I am a hip-hop artist, event curator, facilitator, youth advocate. I do a lot of things. I have a swim initiative. I'm a performing artist. And yeah, I just love to build community, specifically Black community, more specifically Black women community. So that is what I do.
All right. Peace and love, y'all. Grateful to be here. My name is Louis, aka Louis Blaze. And I'm also a hip hop artist, visionary, author, youth advocate as well. I curated what is called the We Will Breathe Fellowship. That's a part of the youth work that I do, really based around, healing and transformation and understanding that we could be the change that we want to see. So, and I speak about that in my music as well. So, yeah.
Thank you guys so much for your time and being here. And we are fortunate enough to see these two perform after after a panel discussion that we're going to have. After the performance, we'll have, if we have enough time, we'll open up the floor for a little bit of Q&A. All right, so let's get rolling. Oh, I didn't introduce myself. I'm so sorry, everybody. So my name is Dorothy Jackson. I'm a human resources recruiter with the city of Minneapolis. I've been here for about 10 months, and I am a proud member of the Minneapolis Black Employee Network. So I'm going to roll into that first question. So the first question, and Nakara, I'm going to start with you, if that's okay. Describe what makes a safe space makes a space brave versus safe. What are the differences in what youth and elders bring to that space?
I think what makes a space brave versus safe is what the people in the space need. So some folks may need more security, while some folks are empowered to be secure in themselves, right? So, yeah, it's based on the need in the space. So we shouldn't always assume safety, right? I know safe space is like really popular. It's really cool. But I've kind of more adopted a blank space, right? Because everybody needs something different and we are equipped to meet the need. So being vocal about what the need is so that you can meet it. And what was the second part of that question?
The second part was, what are the differences in what youth and elders bring to those spaces?
I think obviously, well, maybe not obviously, elders bring wisdom. They bring their lived experience. And for me, elders bring a sense of safety, right? Knowing that there are people in the room who know what they're doing, who know what they're talking about, who can guide you, who have a sense of nurture and care. I think young people bring new vision to the space. And when you combine the two, I think we're a lot more successful.
Thank you so much. Louis, we're going to go to you next.
Yeah, I would just echo everything that my sister Nakara just said. Speaking towards a space being brave, right? I think, it's really about comfortability, and sometimes you can find yourself being comfortable and what's uncomfortable as well. But it's just given an opportunity to just be, to settle in that feeling of being uncomfortable and being courageous enough to share your thoughts and feelings and know you're going to be seen, valued, and heard, right? It may feel unsafe, right? If we're being realistic, it may not be safe, but you're given an opportunity to be brave and, be courageous in that. And to the second point, most definitely with the youth and the elders, together we provide that balance. I'm a firm believer that everything we, do needs to be intergenerational and intentional. Us young people and even the younger people, that's coming after me, we need the ones with that experience that have walked our footsteps and could probably see that we may be falling into a hole or a trap, and they let us know, yo, don't go that way. I took that route before. And vice versa. And one thing that I see too, though, is we need more understanding between the two, because not everybody walks the same path. We're all unique. And as long as we can allow both parties to be heard, like I said before, seen and valued, then, the space is safe and brave.
I love that. Thank
I just
you.
want to add a little tidbit. Louis was one of my students at High School for Recording Arts. So like sitting here next to him as my equal, he's always been equal in creativity, but this is so fire. I just had to say that. I'm so proud of you.
Love.
I love that. I think it's very important that we really, really pay attention to the history of Minneapolis. Like, it's important. Sometimes you want to come in and you just want to wipe it out, but a lot of the things that you guys said were on point, and that history is very important so we don't repeat the same mistakes. This community didn't always serve, people that look like us. So having that history and tying the two together, we're a force to be reckoned with, okay? I'm just saying. So I'm going to go to the next question. Question number 2 is, how does brave and safe spaces support a belonging environment? Whoever wants to go first.
How does brave and safe spaces support a belonging environment? Um, that's interesting. I feel like the answer was kind of in what I just said previously. Yeah, to support a belonging environment. I mean, most definitely, me personally, I don't want to be anywhere that I'm not belong, or that I don't feel belonged or that I don't feel welcome to. Y'all ever like have a conversation with somebody and you got like a similar circle of friends, right? And you mentioned like, yo, Tony and Al are kicking it and going bowling tonight. You want to come? And then your guy tell you like, I wasn't invited. I'm not gonna go. I think that's the feeling that I'm getting right now. Like, I would appreciate an invitation, right? And if we speaking like in terms of systematic work and things of that nature, right? An invitation to the table would be amazing, right? Because then you're welcoming me, right? You're providing that hospitality, and it makes me be belonging, right? But we have to feel brave enough to invite somebody to the table. We have to feel safe enough to invite somebody to the table. Sometimes, due to stereotypes or stigmas or just the division in the world, we're afraid to take that next step of inviting somebody to our table, by not, understanding who they truly are or where they come from. We just have to take that leap of faith and not be afraid. And oftentimes what you see is when you get two people from different experiences, different walks of life, if we could come together and put our differences to the side and agree to disagree without disengaging, usually some magic could be created there. And I think that's the outcome that we're all looking for, is that magic.
Yeah, that's really good. My thoughts are along the same lines. I think safety cultivates bravery, right? In order to be brave, you have to feel a sense of security. Maybe there's even just one person championing you in your corner who's saying, "Hey, you can do this," right? Sometimes that's all it takes. And so, yeah, I think it's like one hand washes the other, both hands wash the face with safety and bravery.
Thank you guys so much. I couldn't have asked for a better panel today. We're going to pivot a little bit before we open up to our Q&A. Our panel members are each going to perform. So which one do you want to go first? Which one do you want to go first? You go first? Okay. So Nakara's going to go up first, and then I'm going to open it up for a Q&A. Don't be shy, all right? Because we all, everybody's going to get a chance to go around, ask any questions that you'd like. All right.
All right, check. All right, y'all. So I learned today that this was an acapella, but it's cool. It's all good because we pivot, because we in a safe space, so I could be brave, right? So most people who know me, again, my name is Nakara Forget. When you ask me how I'm doing, I typically respond, I choose to be well. And I got that from my really woke homie, like he wear the fez, like he don't eat no pork, like he just... but it grounds me and it reminds me of my power to choose and operate in wellness, right? Because it's a choice. And I'm a Capricorn, y'all. I got an attitude problem. So, like, I be having to check myself. Like, I choose to be. And I got a three-nager. Oh, my God, I choose to be. So real quick, just to get us grounded in this a cappella performance, I'm going to ask y'all how y'all doing. And I would like you to respond, I choose to be well. All right? And say it with your chest. Or I will ask you to do it again. All right. How's everybody doing? I choose to be well. That was good. Oh, did it feel good? Yeah. Let's do it one time. How's everybody doing? I choose to be well. It's a choice. Okay, that's good. I'm feeling good. All right. This is usually where the music would start. Okay. Let's pretend. Searching outside of myself. Never found what I was looking for. Knocking and picking on locks. All I needed was an open door. I had to switch up the route. On a path for my greater good. Tired of repleting myself. Explaining things that should be understood. But you can't hear me because you don't aim to. You can't feel me. You're in pain too. You're so comfortable being uncomfortable. Switch my lens up. Change my angle. Am I my best self when I'm with you? If that's a question, I don't need you. I didn't leave you. I left parts of me that could not serve me for my next journey. Fear is a hell of a drug. It how you thinking it's love. It how you thinking y'all friends, or even all the above. I've been forgiving my foes. Truly, I'm wishing them well. Switching my vibe up like clothes. The peace I have given them hell. Well, I choose to be well. Say that with me. That's good. And the second verse goes, because family is raggedy. The blood and the mud ain't that different. Both leave you filthy and both of them stain. The people got picked for my family to love me the most, cause me the most pain. I circle back to my circle to find I don't fit to square, I suppose. I'm healing myself. My boundaries crossed. What am I to do? Some doors gotta close. Cause we kinfolk, I can't excuse you. This goes both ways. I won't abuse you. If I condone that and my son sees that, it grows in his mind, a negative impact. Trauma repeats and that falls on me. I cannot have that. I will not have that. I am not mad. I simply refuse to let y'all hurt me and pass him my blues. Trauma something like a drug, huh? It how you thinking it's love, huh? It how you thinking it's normal, or even all the above. I've been releasing my woes to keep them what caused me to fail. I'm switching my vibe up like clothes. The peace I have given them hell. Well, 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 well. That's how the backgrounds go. Well, well, well. 'Cause why? I choose to be well. I choose to be well. I choose to be well. Thank y'all.
Can we get one more hand, please, for Nakara? Thank you. Next up, we got Mr. Louis Blaze.
Thank you, thank you. All righty. How we feeling right now? How we feeling right now? It really is an honor to be able to sit up here side and side with, my mentor Nakara. That's super dope. I feel like I done leveled up, Oh, me. So I'm going to share a piece. This is unreleased. The name of this is In the Garden. I do plan on releasing it this summertime. But yeah, this is a spoken word. And I'm going to need just a little crowd participation too, just to warm up. Okay, let me see. I just need y'all to snap. There we go. Anybody want to hum with me like that? There we go. I like that. Keep it going. Hey. Okay, I'm about to start the hook soon. Okay. Here we go. Hey. Walking in the garden. Hey. Talking in the garden. Hey. Sparking in the garden. But are we watering the garden? Walking in the garden. Yeah. Talking in the garden. Sparking in the garden. Calm down. Are we watering the garden? We are all seeds in this garden of life. Give me what I need and water me right. Bring me from dark to the light. Follow your heart and ignite the spark for insight. Like a star in the night, shine down unto me, so I can see the reflection of what I can be. If you are a seed who was born on your family tree, what are the things you've been programmed to believe? Is it the truth, or have you been deceived? When did you receive enlightenment and empathy to find peace where purpose meets passion and know why we been conceived? Now, how do you perceive this reality? Let's look at the galaxy and see the power of the sun, beaming brightness upon the planets and the moon like a parent with daughters and sons. Then take a moment to reflect on what energizes us the most to have fun and shine our lights into the world in front of the boys and the girls. What does it take for a flower to grow? We nurture the soil and moisturize the seed with H2O, a mixture of oxygen and hydrogen, and allow the sun to shine within. Come on, y'all, let's breathe. Because we also need oxygen. See, with no breath, that's your death. And with no water, there's no life. That's like a right with no left, no balance, no sight, no sense of touch, no tongue to taste, a loss of smell, no ears to hear. And without our five senses, we're senseless, might as well be with the atmosphere. Return with earth, wind, fire, and sea. I desire to be a servant of love in this garden that we all here oversee together as a community for the name of union and solidarity, for peace and prosperity, providing clarity. Apparently that is hard for some, but I'm not one to condemn, I want to protect. Here to demand that humanity and nature gets their respect. Then I channel my energy from being upset to becoming more uplifting and invest effort into a system of healthy living. Because we were given fruits for purification and vegetables for consumption, natural resources to utilize and help the way that we function. There are many false discussions that would create much mind dysfunction till we discover the lies and no longer ride on that road to self-destruction and realize reproduction is the foundation of legacy. Yeah, the love we meet, the love we create, and the love that we be. A covenant is a relationship for something that is more than you and me. And with no you, there's no we. Now tell me what's a garden with no seeds I see. We could speak life or speak death, but every word is a seed. Every action and behavior we exemplify as water. Indeed, we water in seas, but the water can be toxic like acid or alkalized with purity. Now do you see, you truly need to watch how you be. Water in the garden, hey, talking in the garden. Yeah, said we sparking in the garden, but are we water in the garden, oh, walking in the garden, talking in the garden, sparking in the garden, but are we water in the garden? Thank you.
If y'all wasn't feeling the love before, are you feeling the love now? Yeah, we feeling the love. Okay, so we're gonna open up to a little bit of Q&A, or if you have any kind words for our panel members, I'll walk around with a microphone. You can stay in your seat. Just raise your hand if you have a question in the theme of belonging and safe spaces. Anybody? You do? Okay.
Hey, you guys. I'm Lisa. I work downtown with the Downtown Improvement District. First of all, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. I feel like downtown is in transformation, much like the city's in transformation, and I wonder if you could talk a little bit about where the levers are that we need to be pushing and pulling to make sure that that transformation is moving toward more belonging.
Ooh, that is loaded because downtown is ghetto, and I don't even like using that term around mixed company. But I think young people, and this is said a lot, and it's kind of vague, but young people need something to do. And because they don't have anything to do, they terrorize in downtown. I personally don't feel safe downtown. I don't hang out downtown. I don't go out. And I remember when it used to be a lot more fun, when there was GameWorks and there was a movie theater and there were, places to shop. And now it's not that. It doesn't cultivate community, and it doesn't include young people. And so they're kind of on the outskirts of what's happening. And there is not a sense of belonging. And so they cutting up. And so I think downtown should be a little bit more inclusive of young folks. And maybe we'll see a decline in some of the nonsense that happens.
Absolutely. I'm gonna clap to that. Heavy on that GameWorks. Like, dang. I didn't even get to experience that in my older ages, It was right downtown. I remember going there. The GameStop right there, too. The movie theater, everything. Those were the good old days. I would say some of the levers that need to be pulled on, we need to get these, these movers and shakers and these power players in the room, the people who own some of these buildings, right? We need to get, you know, the our commissioners, right, our stakeholders, you know, from a political point of view, and we need to get the actual community, you know, that's out here, you know, these young people and the individuals who are in these areas and in these pockets of downtown, right? Some of them have nowhere to go, you know, have no place to be. Some of them just out there trying to hustle. But what would it look like if they was given an opportunity to be at the table, like we was just saying earlier, right? If they, you know, if our city and these government officials felt safe enough to invite our community members to this table, and we envision what you know, downtown looks like for all of us, right? And in that process, don't just bring people along and take the ideas, but actually, you know, utilize them budgets and pay them for their insight as consultants, right? And you never know what that creativity could turn into, right? I could see so many beautiful things with our downtown, you know, a more colorful downtown, some with more activities, right? Artistical opportunities, like involve the artists from the community too. Like we can really shape and transform the way this is, and it can be safe for everybody.
So I heard you talk a little bit about the high school that you worked at and the high school that you also attended. What about that environment made it possible for you to kind of come out with this belonging? And what can public schools learn from the environment that was created that you taught in and that you also attended, in terms of this notion of belonging?
Yeah, I think the school itself was High School for Recording Arts. It's a charter school. There was a lot of autonomy for young people to chart their own path, and there was the creativity was highly cultivated. And so there's not just one way to learn, right? There's not just one way to teach, and that's actually kind of where I got my start in really, you know, developing curricula and implementing sisterhood and what it means to be a young Black woman, professional, those types of things into curriculum, right? There's a lot that the school system doesn't teach because they don't value it. And so when you have schools that have the freedom to kind of explore other things, you get young people who are also unafraid to explore other things. And then you get leaders like Louis Blaze out here on a panel. So yeah, I think cultivating creativity and autonomy for young people is really important. Not just telling them what to do, but giving them the room to decide what's best for them. Because a lot of times they, you know, we look at them as the problem and they're the answer.
Absolutely. I would just say that's a mic drop right there, you know, like for sure, for sure. I love it because, you know, I put emphasis on that. It's a space where like they don't necessarily exactly teach you what to think, but how to think. And I think that's so important, especially for this generation as we continue to evolve. You know, not, you know, some things stay the same, right, as far as infrastructure, but like where I'm meant to evolve, things are meant to change. And, you know, the process of learning is right along with that. Some people don't learn the same now as if we was learning 150 years ago, you know, so, you know, yeah.
This beautiful lady had a question and she looked real serious about it. In the purple? Yeah.
That's right. Hi, I'm Shannon Fitzgerald. I'm with the Minneapolis Downtown Council. I run the Chameleon Shops program, and I'll admit freely that we would love to have these conversations that you're talking about, especially with youth and the Black community in general. And we're having a hard time, I'll be very honest about this, making that connection and making sure that we are doing that in a way and managing it in a way that is the most welcoming, the most realistic. And I'll also say that there's with everything we do downtown, there's a management of expectations because there's only so much we can do in the space and the systems that we live in, right? So that's a long way to say thoughts about the right way to have those conversations, the right way for us to host those conversations, to welcome that in. I would love more thoughts about that, if that question makes sense.
Pay the people who have the connections.
Right. In addition, thank you. Yes, sorry. Agreed. I totally see that. How do you? But the inviting, we're like, can I send Louis? Louis, you and I think I've worked together before, didn't we? On Vachel Hudson's.
Oh, with
project?
Vachel?
Yeah, you and
we did
I
something with
remember you.
Vachel.
We talked a little bit before.
Yeah.
Like, if I send you guys an email and are like, I want to gather, have a meeting and gather folks. We have money, we have food, we have childcare. Is that you that sends that? Like, I've had a hard time really finding just those points. So, okay, I'm inviting myself to send you an email
For
about
sure.
that.
Yep.
All right.
Utilizing community members, not
Okay.
being cheap, because a lot of times
Yeah.
organizations who don't have the connections really don't want to properly pay the people who do. And so this is already hard work. It's already heavy. And then we are shortchanged financially, right? And so, one, we're overworked, and then we're underpaid, like most people. But community work is not valued. It's really hard to put a dollar amount to it, and a lot of times the dollar amount is way too small.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like y'all want us to speak, recruit, perform, build, cultivate relationships, maintain those relationships. We're doing all of that on behalf of an organization that's getting money and not sharing it. And so that's a lot of the barrier.
And then when you pay me, you gotta, pay my community too. You feel me? Like, don't just allocate a budget for me to come in and recruit people. Expect me to let you know, like, yo, everybody that's recruited, they gotta get paid too, for their insight as well. That's another big thing I see. Like, sometimes we could pay like a professional to go recruit community members, but then we just, give all the community members like a $20 gift card or something like that. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned childcare. I think that's really important. So removing barriers for community members, because it's not that they don't want to be involved, they don't have the capacity. So when you help create capacity, then you get their involvement.
Absolutely.
And we'll be able to share our panel members' contact information if you want to further these conversations, and pay them too. Does anybody have any more questions? We got some more time. Oh.
CD, where can we find more music? Where do we participate in that aspect of everything you do? So.
We'll be able to provide that information after this event. We got it.
Yeah. Right now, what you could do right now is text Blaze to 33777 and really join the train right there.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I think the last question was a good segue to the question I wrote down. How do you develop a sense of belonging in spaces that covertly show you that you do not belong? And how do you reconcile that duality within self?
That is so good. I told you I was a Capricorn. So I'm like, as I've found my voice and I've been mentored by extremely great leaders, I will advocate you down to the ground. I'm actually kind of beefing with the park board right now. If there's anybody from the park board in here, see me, because we could square up. I don't have a problem using my voice, and I encourage the folks under me to use their voice. And so I think a lot of that is comes through mentorship, comes through cultivating leaders intentionally, right? Because it's not always going to feel safe. It's not always going to be comfortable. But that doesn't mean it doesn't need to be said or it doesn't need to be done. And so that that's that bravery piece, right? And because folks above me and around me have made me feel safe enough to use my voice, y'all can't make me feel unsafe. I'm going to speak it. And sometimes I'm loud and wrong, right? But correct me. Correct me so we could get it right. But yeah, I've been built to be brave, and I think that's where that comes from.
I say, absolutely. It's about having that bravery, and being transparent, right? Speaking with, power, clarity, and authority, and also leaning into this process of like being more transformational and just like transactional. That's one thing that I've seen. Like, so, I've had the honor to serve over in Ramsey County, actually. So I'm born and raised in, the Twins. I say the Twin Cities. I was born in ACMC, but I lived in St. Paul as well. So I've been back and forth all my life, right? Graduated from high school for Recording Arts, right? So, I served the whole Twin Cities. But I recently just left my position over in Ramsey County so I could be 100% entrepreneur and artist. And that was, a shift for me as a milestone in my life. But I was honored to be in that position because I was, working at a table that my whole life I never really felt that I belonged at, right? And then I also had to battle with myself internally of all my own personal beliefs and things of this nature. Like, dang, can we really change the system, right? But being there at that table, what I realized is that the work has been moving and it's been productive. At least speaking from my side, we was doing the Healing Streets work, and that's around juvenile diversion work as well. And we started to see a lot of changes, and that was because of this process, forming this transforming systems together idea and bringing systematic leaders to the table, but also community leaders to the table and youth to the table. So this is this intergenerational field, right? And then at that, right, it's not based on transaction. It's not just about paying you for services and we just here for this moment. No, it's about transformation. How can we look at the way the system has operated for these last years, and how can we entertain new ideas and bring in innovative thoughts that would completely change the way things operate? And it's also about not being afraid to do something completely new, right? Change the rules, right? I mean, they always change the rules when we making progress and moving forward, right? So now when we in a position, we have some type of power, let's not be afraid to utilize that. Like, it was some strings that was pulled to get me to be in a position as a paid Ramsey County employee, and I didn't have no degree, and that's something that's realistic. Like, that's happened, right? And that was a systematic barrier. Like, they called me like, oh, you ain't got the degree. A couple of calls was made and was like, no, this is a new thing we're doing. We're gonna try this based on a lived experience. And based on that, we gotta, understand that some people lived experience could come into these spaces and help, make transformation. So yeah.
I just wanted to add to that because you said somebody brought you to the table or created room for you to belong at a table or not feeling like you belong at a table. Empowering thought leaders to create their own table. So you ain't got to sit at somebody else's. Make folks come to you. And I think when you're a powerful thought leader, that it has to happen at some point. They got to come to your table. So encouraging that, and folks that you see are brilliant, that's really important.
So sometimes you got to break that table. Build your own. Okay, got you. Anybody else got any more questions for our panel members? Anybody? Any last thoughts? Okay, do you guys have any last remarks before we close?
You had asked a question, and I don't know that we answered it. It was around our relationship.
I wanted to know in the beginning, what is your personal connection with the city of Minneapolis? That was kind of off script.
Got you.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good question. I didn't even have an answer for it, and then I asked you to ask it.
I snuck mine up in there. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's why I brought up that I was born and raised here. Yeah, that's my relationship. Like, I'm born and raised here. I've been here all my life. I love Minneapolis. I feel like it's an honor to be from here. I love everything about it, so it's so many great things to do. But I also, it's like a bittersweet relationship too, because I learned about the racial disparities that exist, right? And, nationwide, when you look, it's like Minnesota is the best in education in these different areas. But when you attach the word black to it, then we the worst. It's the complete opposite. And when I learned that in high school, it really infuriated me, you know, and I think it added to the fire, and that's the reason why, you know, that's what motivated me to be the change and try to make a change in the education system and the youth incarceration system, right, with all of this, everything I'm passionate about because of my own lived experience of being that young black man that could have failed in these areas, right, or being that young black man who was homeless before, being that young black man who went to JDC and ended up on EJJ probation, right, from 16 to 21. So it's a bittersweet relationship in that regard. However, being that, you know, I'm born and raised from here, this is where I'm from. I'm inspired, you know, to, you know, work with, you know, everybody in the community to, you know, make the changes that we need to see. So, yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So I'm born and mostly raised here. I've had the opportunity to move around a little bit. I went to like 7 different high schools, some of which out of state. So I've experienced other cities and the way that they operate and how their education works and how their communities work. And Minneapolis is really magical. And even to have the opportunity to sit here, being a Black hip hop artist and have this serious conversation is really dope. And it gives me hope that the powers that be care. They do want to see change. Some of them raggedy as hell. But spaces like this give us hope and let us know that we're not the only ones who see that there's a problem and we're not the only ones who want to correct those problems. And I don't see that a lot in other cities. And so I think the fact that we're even having these conversations and that you include folks like me and Louie who might look a little different or sound a little different or dress a little different. We ain't got our slacks on today, but our voices are still valuable. And so I think that is part of the magic that Minneapolis has. We just got to put some action behind the conversations because there's lots of talking. Got to do a little more doing. So, yeah.
Please give a round for our panel members, please, everyone. I hope today's event provokes some really good conversation, some acts of bravery, and a sense of belonging. So we're not done yet. We're here until about 1:30. We've got some food over here. Make sure you guys have some discussions and love on one another. And also our panel members are going to be here for you guys to ask them any questions or get any contact information so we can get some things rolling, get some wheels moving here. And also, Blaze, what do we need to do again? What do we need to...
Text Blaze to 33777. I was actually just checking the email. Somebody text me, so
Great.
shout out to that one person.
So it's working.
Yeah. Text Blaze to 33777.
I want to thank everybody for their participation today. Even if you were here just listening, it means a lot. All the great questions that came, the caterers that we had, and also let's give a round of applause to our ERG and Ben for coordinating this and putting this together. We had some hiccups in the beginning, but y'all will never know because we just roll with the punches. That's what the city does. So I love to see this. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you sign up, sign in over there. And also, we should have a list of our scheduled events. We have a couple more for the rest of for February. So thank you and happy Love Day, everybody. Thank you.